Alfonso, this is Optimus Prime. Transform and roll out!
And just when you thought Yolopark was pretty much done impressing us, we come to two brand new Rise of the Beast releases, with Cheetor and the highly acclaimed Scourge. Going into these, my hopes were high, because I knew that Scourge was going to deliver properly, given the fact that we haven't really gotten an accurate Scourge pretty much at all. And boy, did these absolutely deliver, to the point to where these are now my two favorite Yolopark figures for Rise of the Beast so far. Also gotta say, once again, big thanks to Yolopark for sending these free samples for review. And as per usual, they did not specify anything that I should say or what my opinion should be, so what I say in this video is 100% my own thoughts. The packaging is beautiful, the same overall design element as the previous ones. You're gonna be keeping up this visual format, which I'm really a fan of. And of course, on the back you get the featured of like what the breakdown looks like of the layout to kind of know what you're getting yourself into. And then of course it encourages you because it shows you how nice it all looks when fully assembled. But we're not here for the packaging, we're here for the bots inside. So let's get these out of the box right away and let's dive into how awesome these guys really are. Okay, we've got Cheetor and Scourge. These two, I can't wait, because after seeing Primal, after seeing Prime, after seeing Bumblebee, I've got high confidence in these. I think Cheetor is like, well, I'm really excited for him because he's my favorite Maximal. And while I love the Studio Series version, I love him, but you know, he's a mainline retail thing. He's not like perfect, you know, his robot mode is not 100% accurate because he has to transform. But with this guy, because they don't transform, there's no kibble. So they get to like really focus on the robot mode. So that's what I'm really hyped for Cheetor. Finally get a proper robot mode. And this thing is definitely something I'm hyped for because the Studio Series version for him, no shade, is the furthest from the design out of the two. So this is finally we have like an accurate robot mode for Scourge and Rise of the Beast. This looks like a render, but check out the teeth. You can actually see his mouth open with the teeth in robot mode, which we didn't really get to see in the movie, so that's really sick. Let's get him open. Oh, I see it. Okay, so there's a piece here. So be careful when you open them, because there's like two levels. Oh, it's the Bumblebee accessories. Yes! I can't wait for the Rhinox one, because I really want the Prime accessories. Okay, we have instructions. These are some nice instructions, too. My goodness. I like these. Main event. Here we go. Whoa. I'm already seeing the silver. I'm already seeing the silver. Yo, he looks really cool. This is Cheetor's packaging. Alright, so I've broken the little tabs. They have like 4 little pull tab things, and it's not really easy to remove. I wish they had an easier way to do that, but here we go. We're removing the clamshell. Hopefully that doesn't all fall out. Ooh, yeah. Yes. Oh, I love the claws on his hand. And I love how the layout is. Like, they lay out the pieces in the order or in the relative part of the body that it goes. Yeah! Bumblebee, you got some blasters now, baby! Yippee-ki-yay! Okay, so Cheetor is done. Now it's time for the savory! This is the main event. I have a feeling. I got a feeling. I'm gonna just say it right away. That this is going to be my favorite Yolopark Rise of the Beast figure, no matter what else they put out. Even if they do Pablo, even if they do RC and all of the rest, and they're probably gonna. Well, Mirage actually is a good contender. He might be the only one that I might like more than Scourge. But so far, Scourge is gonna take the cake. Whoa. Oh. What? Okay. Oh my gosh! Look at that! Ah! Bro, this is awesome! This is so cool, dude! Oh my gosh. He doesn't have a lot of rust, and we knew that from the photos, but like still, the finish, like the silver finish, I love the gray. He's very monochrome. You know, it kind of reminds me of the Primal figure, the mainline version for Rise of the Beast. It's that monochrome silver with like different touches of gray. I don't hate it. I mean, it's like a different take on kind of his style. And this is probably how he looked before he got all rusty and weathered over the years. The sculpting already, I can see that this is going to be a really fun... The insignias. the insignias. Yes, look at that blade. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I'm excited to get these assembled, and so we're not wasting time. Let's dive in. The assembly for these guys were really fun, and just like the previous characters, not bad at all. Scourge's assembly was actually the most fun for me because the parts were a lot more bulkier, and they really held together well. They didn't really fall out when you were putting him together, which has happened in previous releases. And Cheetor was a little bit more complex, but it wasn't bad. It would actually help if the actual peg that you peg into these characters were shaped in a certain way where you can't get it wrong upside down. Some of the pegs are just rectangular, so you can accidentally plug it in upside down. But if they had some pegs that were like certain specific shapes, it would force you to peg it in the right orientation, preventing any issues or preventing any like mishaps. But overall, the instructions are pretty clear, and you can pretty much tell when something doesn't work, and that was the case with regard to Scourge and with regard to Cheetor. But the larger pieces are really simple, they're really straightforward to assemble, not really a problem there. The smaller pieces are the ones where you have to make sure it's in the right position, but that's the only concern. Cheetor is a little more sharp, he has a lot more details, a lot more intricacy, so you gotta be a little bit more careful because of that maximal live action design. But overall for both of these, it's a home run. I would say the assembly is about 5-10 minutes per figure, and that was taking my time. I could have done it much faster. And the assembly wasn't that bad. Man, am I impressed by how freaking awesome these look. Scourge is oh my goodness, Scourge. This is gonna kind of be, you know, kind of like a dual reaction because we do have Cheetor. Cheetor looks freaking amazing. It's the best Cheetor robot mode that we've gotten pretty much on the market so far. Yolopark, as per usual, they don't transform, so they can really incorporate all the engineering into articulation, into detail, and into film accuracy. So that's why these robot modes are so incredibly spot on. Now, obviously, Scourge is the star of the show. He looks absolutely incredible. He's got a lot of different like grays and silvers kind of blended in, but a lot of details, a lot of live action accurate details. We finally got the curved shoulder pads. We finally got the sharp blade that actually looks like it's coming out of his arm. We have the articulated claw. We have the beautiful head sculpt with a removable mask. We have so much freaking incredible things in terms of display presence. And Cheetor, of course, being 100% robot mode, we can finally get a really accurate Cheetor. The coloring is highly saturated, I will say. It's something that I have to kind of get used to, but I will say in person, the color does look a little bit better than it does on camera. It looks a little too cartoonish over the camera, but in person, it is not as bad. Just in my opinion, it's kind of tolerable when you see it in hand, but I love the spots on him. I love the details on him. I love the silver applications on him as well. And him with that spear really just completes his overall aesthetic, and it really is nice. The accessories are really cool for these guys. So Cheetor has his spear, and Scourge has a lot more accessories than Cheetor. So for Cheetor, they just gave him a range of hands because his accessories, even in the film, didn't really have much of a variety, whereas Scourge, he had a blade, he had a blaster, and then obviously he had a removable mask that you can do with this figure. So for Cheetor, not really that much. He does come with this set of hands. So instead of articulating fingers like Scourge has, he just has the different hands, like a different set. So you have a pair of these where it doesn't really articulate at all, just has the hands themselves. And then you have like more curved, more clawed type hands, with the curved fingers. And then you have the spear, which is amazing. It's really nicely sculpted, but it does split into two. It does snap into two. So you can have him wield the smaller one, right? Or you can have him wield the larger one, or both. But that's all you get for Cheetor. He looks amazing with it. I mean, it completes him. He has to have it. It's kind of like, signature for him. Moving over to Scourge. I love Scourge's accessories. He has this blaster that he uses, obviously, in the film. And the way that it looks, his fingers kind of transform backwards, and then it reveals the barrel. And that's exactly how it is here, except in this case, you have to remove the actual hand and then peg this into it. And then it kind of wraps around and just kind of poses as if his fingers transformed back. But it's beautifully sculpted. It's a nice piece, actually. It's really accurate to the film. He also has this piece because his face mask is removable, and when you do that, there's a more movie-accurate sculpting for the face that you saw actually in the film. So they included this additional piece here for you to have the full accuracy for the face sculpt, and that really does look awesome. You can pull off the scene where he's holding the mask when Mirage kicks it off. So it's really cool the fact that this is even possible, because not something that we got on the studio series, but this is beautiful. This is excellent. It's the first time you really get to do that, and I absolutely love how that looks. His face is really nicely detailed, really menacing, really monster looking, and they really pulled it off with the sculpting in the face. And then we have the blade. I think this is probably one of my favorite accessories because it really does complete him. You've got some etchings, you got some damage here. It basically like ingrained into the blade. You've got some nice details here also, and then you have the peg for it. And instead of like an orange edge of the blade, they have a silver edge of the blade. So he's really nice and polished, like he hasn't really been in a battle, he looks like. But this is a perfect opportunity for anybody to customize it. You know, you can add your own like orange glow. And I love how it looks on Scourge. Really completes his design, it completes his battle mode. Obviously, I'm going to have him wielding this. This is essential for posing him. But that's pretty much it for the accessories for both of them. Obviously, we do have one more thing. Bumblebee! Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. Bumblebee finally has his blasters. From the Transformers Rise of the Beast that comes with Cheetor. You know, they're kind of doing that build-a-figure sort of thing where they're putting pieces of these characters or another character in a package for a new character to kind of get you to buy it. And it's working. And this is the blasters that comes with Cheetor from Bumblebee. So you get a set of 2, and then you get a faceplate for the battle mask. Alright, let's get into some articulation for Yolopark Scourge. Look how beautiful this thing is. Oh my gosh. It is literally like one of the most accurate Scourge figures we've probably gotten like ever so far. Look at that curve. Aha. The shoulder pad comes up, comes down. It's on a ball joint so you can move it. You have shoulder movement here, and then you have rotation here. The arm comes out, down. There's an elbow bend. Really nice. Probably double jointed, but it's way more narrow than 90 degrees. There's a movement all around for the arm, and then they have pieces that move out of the way. For his claw, obviously it's on like a pin, and it's really nice. It actually moves around just like it does in a movie. It's like the new fidget spinner. And the same goes for this arm with the joints, except on this one it's a ball joint. So you just have like the ball joint, then you have the individually articulated fingers. You have one joint here, one joint here, and then you've got 1, 2, 3 points of articulation. Yes, they are individually articulated, and the fingers are really sharp. It would not pass Hasbro's safety screening. For the torso section, you have a movement up here, and then you have movement in the actual waist area, and then you have movement. Okay, this particular piece actually keeps coming off, I notice. Everything else stays on very well. Just this one, I might have to put some clear nail polish on this one. You do have an abdominal crunch a little bit. There's nice details on the back. Looks great. All the silver paint on the smokestacks, on the spinal column, and then you got some 2 cells there. So looks nice. The leg has 2 joints here. You have one that actually can come down like this, and you can really get some full range of motion, right? So you have that, and then the leg comes out like this. It comes down. There's a rotation at the hip. Leg comes all the way up. Very high kick. There is a knee bend right here, and then it comes down. Of course, it goes back as well. I literally have scratches from his fingers. Just from the fingers, like, look at the fingers. That's what his fingers does. The feet does have some movement back and forth, some nice pivoting, rotation here. The feet has up and down motion. You have a toe bend like this. The head has 2 neck joints one at the base, and then one at the actual neck. That's just a general overview of the articulation for Scourge, but obviously he probably can do a whole lot more, and I'm really impressed by generally how he looks and feels. He's very, very sturdy, and I like it. Now let's get into Cheetor's articulation. This thing is actually beautiful. I know compared to Scourge, it's like no comparison, but as a single individual figure and my favorite Maximal, and as a Maximal design in general, this guy is just freaking awesome. I'll do the shoulder pad. Shoulder pad comes up, arm comes up, comes down. There is a shoulder piece here. Once you move it, you can get some rotation all around. You can move the shoulder pad all the way out to get the arm all the way up like this. And then the arm comes down, shoulder pad comes down, rotation. You got elbow bend, very nice. Tighter than 90 degree angle. You've got movement on the torso. You can do back and forth, around. Then you have another piece on the actual waist. Leg comes out, down, comes up. Then you've got a knee bend, double jointed. You can see all the detailings on there whenever you do rotate it. And then you've got some feet pivoting, and you got some front back on the feet. And you technically do have a little bit of a toe bend. You can technically move this joint down. It's kind of like Scourge, where you can move it down and then you can kick it all the way back if you need to. So it has those two screw joint holes where you can get some really nice range of motion. And similar to Scourge, Cheetor has movement on the actual neck for the head, and then you have up and down rotation on the actual head itself. So Cheetor looking freaking awesome, and definitely a keeper. And now let's get into some comparisons to show what they look like alongside other Yolopark figures in the line and alongside their Studio Series counterparts. Here they are with the Studio Series 98 Rise of the Beasts Voyager class Cheetor. Looks freaking awesome. Of course, the coloring for both of these are extremely off, as you can see, so it's a little bit of a bummer to not have the same coloring, because I wanted to have the cheetah in front of the Yolopark Cheetor robot mode, but I don't think that's gonna look as clean as I would want it to look. But anyway, nevertheless, that's how they look. Next up, here we have the Yolopark Bumblebee in the same line for Rise of the Beasts. As you can see, looks really nice. The robot modes are really shining bright. Next up, here they are with the Studio Series 101 Rise of the Beasts Leader Class Scourge. And once again, as you can see, compared to their Studio Series counterparts, the Yolopark shines bright. And next up, here they are with the Yolopark Optimus Primal, which was my previous favorite figure of the Yolopark line for this Rise of the Beasts wave. I mean, honestly, they look fantastic alongside Primal, especially Primal and Cheetor. You can definitely see those Maximal designs really shining bright there. But, I mean, putting Primal next to freaking Scourge, yeah, 100% Scourge takes the freaking cake. He's the crown of this entire line so far, and my favorite one. And finally, here they are with the Yolopark Optimus Prime for Rise of the Beasts. This Optimus Prime, I was really hoping would be a lot nicer, at least more, paint applications, but I really have confidence once I get the blasters and the weapons for Prime. I'm gonna like him a whole lot more, so I can't wait for Rhinox. Prime's not really shining as bright as I'd want him to, but there they are. He looks great with Scourge overall. And you can pull up some amazing poses with them too, the Rise of the Beasts rivals. Overall, I think Yolopark is killing it. I genuinely think they are killing it. I can't really complain, quite honestly. The articulation is there, the detail is there. The painting for Scourge will be the only downside I'd say for him. I just wish he had more of that brown, rustic, kind of weathered, battle-torn overall paint scheme. And if I had to rate both of these on a scale from 1 to 10, I will give Cheetor a solid 8.5 out of 10. I think that's a very solid rating. He holds together really well. He's really good and posable. His feet are a little too narrow, so some poses he can't really hold very well. The accuracy to the robot mode is spot on, and the freaking spear is awesome. And if I had to give Scourge a rating on a scale from 1 to 10, I think you guys know I'm gonna give him a solid perfect score. I think he's perfect. Yes, he should have more rust, more brown, you know, the overall weathering and battle damage, but that's about it. That's literally the only thing I can say about this guy, because he truly is freaking awesome for 30 freaking US dollars. 10 out of 10, that's my rating. Let's go, Scourge! So that's pretty much it. That's my overall thoughts and review for these two. They're really awesome and definitely worth checking out. If you guys want to grab these, go ahead and head over to shop.yolopark.com. I will have the link in the description box below, and be sure to use my code Alfonso Nation, Alfonso Nation, and you can get a discount at checkout, and let them know that I sent you there. Definitely go check these guys out. I'm really excited for Rhinox, and mainly for Prime's blasters. That's my next biggest hype for this line, and I can't wait to see how that's gonna look when I grab them. I'm pretty much in for this Rise of the Beast line for Yolopark. I mean, they were sending me these, but still, I'm all in for keeping them and displaying them because they really are very impressive. So go check them out and consider getting some for yourself. That's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new, subscribe, and by all means, I will see you all in the next one. Till all are one.